and so today's video is actually a little different than usual. This video is actually a tutorial for my ear shop on how to groom and care and brush the ears you get from my shop, and this is a tutorial for my regular ears. By regular ears I mean they're just single ears. I am going to be doing a tutorial for my multi ears because they obviously require a little bit more maintenance to groom and such. Now this video is for my ears specifically, but I'm sure it can be applied to other ears. I mean, if you haven't had handmade ears before, they're made out of faux fur. Most of them are. There are some people who do actually work with real fur. I work with faux fur. But like all sort of fur products, if you don't brush them, it's gonna get messy and stuff, and you don't want that. So that's why you gotta groom, because it's like with your normal hair. You wake up, you brush it in the morning, otherwise it's all messy. It's the same case with this. For me, I personally recommend that you brush my ears before and after you use them. Definitely after you use them, but generally you don't need to over brush them or anything, because, you know, if you brush things like with your normal hair comes out. Same case with faux fur. If you brush it too much, hair will come out. That's why I recommend you gotta be gentle with all the brushing. But yeah, this is just how I like groom my regular ears in this particular trim style. This trim style just has like the long back of the fur, which is like trimmed slightly. Also, I hope this is like in focus. I do hope. And then you've got like top fluffs, and you've got I guess sort of inner bottom fluffs. But yeah, what I recommend to brush your ears with is a sort of fine tooth comb like this. It's the sort you get for hairdressing, I think it is. But that's what I recommend. I will do a tutorial, or actually no, I'm not going to do a tutorial for tails, but for tails I recommend you use an actual pet brush. You know, the kind which are... Oops, that's my... I'm in the studio right now. But if you're going to do a tail, I recommend you brush your tails with a pet brush like this. You guys know what pet brushes look like. That's what I recommend for tails, because the faux fur is longer as compared to your ears. These are too abrasive for your ears, so don't use them on my ears. But if you're going to brush your tail, do it with this. I'm trying to be as informative as possible for you. Anyway, so how I like to brush them, I just like to sort of brush the backs. This is my personal way of styling them, so obviously I make ears to my preference, but it doesn't really matter which end you use. I tend to use like the more fine tooth bit, as opposed to the wide tooth bit, but I just like to brush the backs. So it's kind of tricky because I'm looking in the viewfinder while I do it, but I just like to brush the backs so they're all nice and neat, because you want them to be all nice and neat. And then what I want is that for them to be sort of, well, my personal preference for the fluffs is that they're sort of like so, and then sometimes I go in with my hands to sort of style them how I like, because, you know, it's like hair, you know, you want to style it to be the haircut you want. So that's how I do the backs of my ears. Most of my ears are trimmed in this style, well, at least in my most recent wave I trimmed them in this style, so that's how I personally prefer to style them, like so. So I brush their backs, so they're all nice and gentle. It's not like too much brushing, just, you know, a nice quick. And then I like to sort of style it with my hands, and then once I have it in my head I style it further sometimes, but most of the time I'll just do it like this and I can just pop them on. Now for these bits here, this bit's like, they do get tangled sometimes like in transit it'll get smushed up and stuff, so you want to brush this bit. So I just brush this bit gently here, so the fur is all nice and uniform together like so. That's just my preference. Sometimes I'll go in with this bit of fur here and I'll smooth it out sort of together so it's a bit more defined. Again, this is just a personal preference of mine. Y'all don't have to do that, but just general grooming. Don't let your fur get all tangled up. That's basically it. And I do the same on this side. General grooming. So it's all nice and neat. And then I go in. Okay, you can't really see that bit. And I go in and I smooth this side too. So I did the same as I did on that side. And then we've got the fluffs here. Again, same thing. I just sort of, sometimes it's easy if you just tilt the thing and I go in and I just brush it all nice and neat. Like so. If you've got gems, be careful that you don't brush all off the gems. I mean, I do use jewellery glue, so it's not really an issue if you do hit them, but I just say be careful, better safe than sorry. If you treat them gently, they'll be good to you. Sometimes I also like to go in again with my fingers and style them like so. And that's it. That's how I groom my regular ears. This, like I said, this is for my ears personally, but you might find it useful for other ears. Generally, like I said, ears, you look after them, they look after you. They gotta be brushed. They're like a little furry creature, kind of, and you gotta brush pets too. It's the same with ears. Anything with fur, you gotta brush it, etc. But yeah, definitely stay tuned for the multi ears. I'm going to try and do a tutorial for each style of multi-ears I do, because they all are a little differently. They require to be brushed a little differently, which is why they're higher maintenance, and this is just easy brush job. But with my multi-ears, you gotta get in there and brush in certain ways, and yeah, like I said, once the multi-ear video comes up, I will link it down below, but probably not for a few more weeks or so until I make my next pair. So once I've made my next pair of multi-ears, I will record a tutorial for that. But I hope you guys found this one useful. Don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up if you found it useful. I also really hope this was in focus the whole time. I'm aware it may have been out of focus, but you guys can sort of see why I was explaining to you, at least I hope. If you do have any questions, feel free to leave them down below in the comments. If you don't know, my shop's called Andie's Ears, because, you know, I'm Andie, so of course it's called Andie's Ears. And the links for that will be all down below. And if you're not subscribed to my channel and you like to be, hit that subscribe button, join the family of kittens, because yes, we're adorable. All my social media links are down below, check it out if you like. Instagram is the most active, and if you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen a sneak peek of the video, because, you know, we like to get a little bit meta on this channel. And as always, hope you guys enjoyed! Click the circular channel icon to subscribe. To watch more videos, click any of the videos down below. See you in my next one!